Deuteronomy 18. Deuteronomy 18, verse 10 to 12. There shall not be found among you but anyone that maketh, on down, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a concerter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord Yahweh Bashmashah, that power both doth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. 14, for these nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observers of times and unto diviners, which this is all what SamHein goes back to. It's nothing new. It's not some new type of holiday that was before any other ones before it. They just added a special twist to it, that's all, with the costumes and shit, and the jack-o'-lanterns and the style, the way they would do it, and the dates. It's about it, but it was nothing new, okay? If I'm not mistaken, the Egyptians did human sacrifice. The Babylonians did human sacrifice. I think the Romans did human sacrifice. Let's look it up. Because this fits right in line with it anyways. Yes, ancient Romans did practice human sacrifice, though they generally viewed it as a barbaric act, and it became increasingly rare over time. The practice was sometimes mandated by oracles in response to dire circumstances such as military defeat, and specific instances are documented, including the burial of captives alive. During the Republic, the Romans officially abolished human sacrifice with a senatorial decree in 97 BCE. But by this point, the practice had already been very common. It says, such as in the Battle of Cannae, they turned to it on the advice of SamHein books. Such as specific instances of human sacrifices include burying people alive, such as a Gaul in the Greek pair after the Battle of Cannae. Another example is Emperor Augustus sacrificing 300 war prisoners after the capture of Perusia. Alright. There you have it. So there you have it. We see the origins of modern Halloween lie in many ancient pagan, Druidic, and folk traditions. It says this brought comforts through the dark winter ahead. Yep. So even these folks here who live in where the birthplace origins of SamHein, they would agree that Halloween is basically still, and especially those witches that have a more higher level of understanding about these holidays than you regular average people, especially those witches and warlocks. Okay, because they exist here. There is a lot of women out here are witches too, without knowing it. Okay, witchcraft just goes into anything that breaks the laws of the Lord. So, like eating pork, like that would be considered witchcraft. It would invite unclean spirits in you. You want to summon Satan? Eat a whole bunch of pork and start drawing fucking bunch of circles all in your room and watch what the fuck will happen. Simple as that. Simple as that, man. I myself believe that I probably done some wicked, left-handed shit. So left-handed that there's certain demons that the Lord will keep on you for to punish you for that, especially if you're one of His elect. Especially if you're called unto this thing, possibly chosen. Who knows?
Beginning of winter and the end of the annual harvest, and the celebration was mandatory. In Ireland, they believed that from the 31st of October to the 1st of November, that the veil between this world and the other world was at its thinnest, allowing spirits to pass through. Now, some were benevolent, like the spirits of loved ones returning to visit their families, but some were mischievous or even dangerous, causing havoc and spreading fear. People would wear masks and costumes to try and disguise themselves from the evil spirits. Bet you didn't know that was me. Even trick-or-treating itself can be traced back to those early days of...
So yeah, man, if you choose to go out, if you're an Israelite and you choose to go up, either you allow your children to put costumes on, or you yourself go buy a costume and go out there, man. You may not think it or believe it, but essentially what you're doing is you're rehearsing the ritual that those who practice SamHein would have done. Is basically they were scared of those spirits, so they were dressed in costumes, scary costumes, to ward them off, because they feared those spirits. Essentially, that's what you're doing. You're fearing spirits. You're fearing other gods before the Lord, the one true God.
In Ireland, people practiced mumming. This was the act of putting on a costume, going door to door, and singing songs to the dead, and receiving a cake as payment. So this Halloween, maybe take a trip to Ireland to partake in a real Samhain festival, continuing a tradition as old as fear itself. But stay safe and be careful. Who knows who or what you might meet there.
Trick-or-treating started as a pagan tradition. Long before the costumes and the candy, people in Celtic lands went door to door for Samhain. It was called souling, and they would offer songs or prayers for the dead. And in return, they would receive food or treats. And the costumes, they came about because they were disguising themselves from wandering spirits. I made a video about that on my page. Now, in modern day, it's become about candy and costumes, but it was originally about exchange. You give something, and you receive something. Now, spiritually, it's a reminder that growth is an exchange too. What we release makes space for what we receive, not just externally. So when you see people trick-or-treating, remember that you're seeing an echo of an ancient tradition, a Samhain ritual. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and share this video to help get the information out there.
Exactly. He knows that shit all goes back to that Satanism. He knows that. Okay. This Romans 12:2, it says, and be not conformed to this world. Okay, as one of those is Halloween we used to keep in those stupid costumes we used to wear. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good, what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. So it's scary. This is 1 Corinthians 12:2. You know that you were Gentiles carried away into these dumb idols, even as you were led. We used to be led into partaking in this wicked holiday. Wherefore I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Spirit of Yahweh calleth Yahweh Shai accursed, and that no man can say that Yahweh Shai is the Lord, but by the Holy Ghost. Now, yeah, that's the point there. And another scripture here, Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them, and there's nothing about the truth incorporated in this Wicked holiday. I mean, goes back to holiday. Goes back to Hollywood. What the Druids would use. It's nothing true and scriptural about that day where they keep it. Because if they did, if it was, why would today be the biggest? Why would this time we're in right now, October, around the end of it, especially when Halloween takes place, why would that be a great day for human sacrifice of the left hand that they do?
They think about pumpkins, candy, fun costumes, and spooky nights. But it all started with an ancient Celtic festival called Samhain. So let's explore where this came from and why it's so powerful today. Over 2,000 years ago, the Celts named October 31st as the end of the harvest and the beginning of winter. This is the dark half of the year. They believed that the veil between the living and the dead was the thinnest at this time, and I'd have to agree. This would allow spirits to cross into our world. Some are invited, like ants.
And this dude, I believe he's a witch too, a warlock. He's just not gonna tell you, but he knows that. Let him tell you. He'll tell you that the regular average American is gonna take his kids. Simple American is gonna take, for parents, is gonna take their kids out. They're basically essentially partaking in a left hand ritual. Okay, they're giving their energy onto the left hand, which is why you feel a huge presence in that day of just eeriness. Okay, something just doesn't feel right, comfortable in that day, Halloween.
Ancestors and guides, while others were feared. Bonfires were lit at this time to honor the dead and protect the living, and people would actually dress in costumes to confuse the spirits. And that's actually where Halloween costumes came from. Pretty wild, huh? And offerings and drinks were left out for the ancestors, like offerings to the spirits. And while rituals were done at this time to release the old and allow in the new, the Celts saw this day as a spiritual new year. When Christianity began to spread, Samhain began to merge with All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, blending into what we now call Halloween. But the core themes never...
Okay, so that's where you get the name now, Halloween, because the pagan Catholics that were often also in pagan, they incorporated it to combine it to call it Halloween. Yep, so
disappeared, honoring the dead, facing the darkness, and celebrating transformation. So remember, when you're celebrating Halloween this year, you're actually touching something much deeper. Samhain, the festival of endings, beginnings, and rebirths. Now all month I'm going to be sprinkling in videos about Samhain and Halloween and how you can align it with your life, consciously being with this season for your spiritual growth.
Yeah, there's no such thing as you ain't gonna get no spirit. He might get spiritual growth on it because he's a Edomite. He's capable of going ahead and doing that. So the point has been made, but I'm gonna just continue because I just want to go thoroughly into this specific topic. I don't want to leave any clip out that I kept in. The point has been made though, but like I said, I'm gonna keep going. I don't want to hurt. This is another scripture I wanted to get. Yeah, because this is Daniel's 7th chapter. He's mentioning how SamHein represents. Well, let me look this up first. Actually, or let's just get Daniel 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. Kind of wear out the saints of the Most High because of how much wickedness is growing by the day here in Babylon. And to think to change times and laws, and Esau has changed times and laws. Ultimately, the Lord has changed the times and laws by making most of our people fall from their heritage, which is why we only have a few people that believe in that they're Israelites who are Israelites today, and wouldn't deny and turn back from their false Christianity and false religions Esau gave him, counterfeit religions, beliefs Esau gave him. And even then, sometimes certain Israelites end up going back to that vomit. Whose kingdom is, and think to change times and laws. And ultimately, SamHein, he was mentioned that, and how it was their New Year's, which just proves it's off, because even Esau's New Year's goes off too, because Esau just incorporated all of these other people's and heathens' beliefs into his American system now, the beast system today, America, his kingdom, his rulership, and they shall be given into his hand until a times, and abiding of time. They are still in, so it's still in his hand. It's still in Esau's power and authority to allow these pagan customs, say witchcraft, right? You can say, so to speak. So I'm going to look at when was SamHein changed to Halloween. SamHein was not changed to Halloween, but the two emerged over centuries as Christianity attempted to supplant the pagan festival in the 9th century. The Catholic Church designated November 1st as All Saints' Day, and the evening before, October 31st, became known as All Hallows' Eve, later Halloween. Incorporated many of the traditions from SamHein to make the transition easier for converts. In the 9th century, Pope Gregory III moved the Christian celebration of All Saints' Day to November 1st, the same day as SamHein. The night before was then called All Hallows' Eve, a name that eventually contracted to Halloween. To ease the conversion of pagan peoples, the church allowed many of the old traditions to continue and merge with the new Christian holidays. This is why modern Halloween includes elements like bonfires, costumes, and themes of ghosts and spirits, which are all remnants of the original SamHein festival. The holiday continued to evolve, particularly when Irish and Scottish immigrants brought their traditions to America, where it was further shaped into the modern celebration of Halloween.